Hi, Linda Bowen here from StampingWithLinda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. Today is Tuesday and a quick fancy fold. I am working on my tutorial for my customers for next month, and I'm using the Leaves of Holly suite, and it has this beautiful designer series paper, Boughs of Holly. And so today my fancy fold is using this designer series paper. I've already fussy cut out the poinsettias. I'm going to be using these two pieces of designer series paper. I have two pieces of basic white. They're 3.5 by 4. Then I have a piece of white that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I have already run it through the Hive 3D embossing folder. I have a piece of Evening Evergreen. This measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I have a piece of Evening Evergreen that's 3 3/4 by 8 1/2, and I have scored it at the 4 1/4. So this is my little card. We're going to go ahead and adhere our pieces together first. I'm going to bring in my stamp and seal, and the embossed white goes on the quarter sheet of the Evening Evergreen like so. And then we're going to take our card and put that on the front. So just a fun, same A2 side, but just has the opening here. I'm going to take one piece of our basic white. Again, this was 3.5 by 4, and we're going to place that on the front of the card and on the inside so that we have a plain surface to write our greeting on. So there we have our basic card. Now what I'm going to do is bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I am going to take that paper, and I'm going to be using my stitched rectangles. I have two different sizes. I have the long, thin one, and then the smallest one. The smallest one I am going to cut out 2 rectangles with. So let's go ahead, get that, run that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. I'm going to be showing you other cards done with the same layout. I think sometimes we just get caught up with having to come up with a different design or a different fancy fold every time, when really all we have to do is change our designer series paper or the stamp set we're using to get a totally different look. Let me see, I don't have my sandwich lining up here very well, so let's slide this back. I'd lay it down on a flat surface rather than trying to hold it in my hand. There we go. Now we're going to run that through. There it goes. Just got to catch just right. And then what we're going to take is that white piece. Now this is just scraps piece after cutting out the poinsettias. So I cut out the big poinsettias, and now I've got a smaller piece, and we're going to line that up with our bigger stitch rectangle die, like so. This fancy fold is just a great way to use those scraps of designer series paper that we have laying around. Just makes for a very quick card. Roll that through. And now we're going to assemble that card. Put that Stampin' Cut and Emboss off to the side. The stitched rectangle just gives a nice accent around that card. And what we're going to do first, I think we're going to put this bigger one at the top. Let's see how I want that to go. Right about there. Now we're going to take our two smaller pieces and we are going to place them. I want to pull this down. Let's see if I can pull that up without too much problem. I didn't move it down far enough. So I want it to be, there we go. Now we're going to add the small rectangles down here at the bottom. Like so. And I see I didn't get enough adhesive here, so let's go in here, see if I can add a little adhesive. There we go. Now I'm going to take that piece of paper, Designer Series paper, there's my bone folder. I'm going to break those fibers apart just so that I've got some curve. And then we're going to go in and grab some dimensionals. Let's see if I can find my big dimensionals. There they are. Put a couple of those on. And then I am going to bring in my pearlized enamel effects. These come 3 bottles. There's a white, a gray, and a red. So we're going to add that. Let's see. Let's maybe go this way. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to grab that pearl. Now you want to make sure that you give it time to dry, but we're just going to go in and add this element to the center of our flower. And we may even add a couple of dots like off on the white. Now you want to give this a little time to dry, but it's a great way to add embellishment without the height for extra postage. So there we have it, our fancy fold using the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.